Hey guys, we're here today to do a little tutorial about how to apply for academic year positions with El Lago del Bosque, Concordia Language Villages. So you're going to open up the main homepage of Concordia Language Villages, which is concordialanguagevillages.org, not .com, .org. And you put it into your web search bar and it should come up to a page like this, where you can learn more about Concordia Language Villages if you'd like, and scroll down to the bottom where it says Work at the Villages. Click on that and that brings you to our main staffing page, and you can see on the right down at Academic Year Positions, Village Weekend Counselors. On this page, you can read a little bit more about the responsibilities of the position, expectations, things like that. On the right at the top, you'll see how to apply. Click there, and that will direct you to our school year applications. And if you're interested in working in the summer, you'd have to fill out another application, which you can also reach through these same pages. So you're going to click on the Village Weekend Online Staff Applications, and it'll bring you to the Concordia College page, where if you have not applied before with us, you will have to create a new account. So just go to the right, click on Create a New Account. You can come up with a username. Now I'll just put Lago del Bosque Prueba. And then create a password, which is secret. And then you're going to enter your first name. Remember, this is your real first name, not your village name, if you have one. And then your email address, so that you can receive information from the application page. And email and confirmation, and create your account. So, once your account has been created, you're ready to move forward with the application process. On that same page that it takes you to, you'll see Concordia Language Villages, open positions, and Language Villages seasonal positions. You're going to click on that one, and you'll find all of the open positions at Concordia Language Villages. You might find the Spanish on that first page, but you can also just type it into keywords, Spanish, scroll down all the way to the bottom, where you'll find the Spanish Academic Year Weekend or Short-Term Counselor. Click on that, and that will start your application, or bring you to the first page, where you can read more about the position, the pay, what's expected, qualifications, things like that. And the quick link for posting, if you want to share this job with any of your friends, you can just click on that, and that's an easy way to share the job. Back to the top, click on Apply to this job. However you end up doing this, you have to get to this page and you have to click on Apply to this job in order to open up the official application. So, apply to this job, and now you're ready to start with a new application. Legal first name, legal last name, middle name, if you would like to put it. It's important to remember that only the fields with the red asterisks are required. So for example, other names used, you have to put none, you have to fill something into that field because it has a red asterisk next to it. Then you'll put your current street address, city, state, zip, and country. and your primary phone number. We'll just put the number of our offices here at El Lago del Bosque as an example. And then the best time to contact you. This could be anytime, or in the morning, at night, in the middle of the night. Basically the time that would be best for us to give you a call or shoot you an email to learn a little bit more about you. And once again, the other boxes do not have red asterisks, so you don't need to fill them out unless you think it is relevant, unless your permanent address is the one where you prefer to receive information and letters and things like that. And then it'll be asked if you have been a student or employee at Concordia College, or an employee or participant in Concordia Language Village programs. If you have not, you just click no, and if you have, then it'll ask you to explain a little bit more about what your role was with Concordia Language Villages. What you did, how long you worked, that sort of things. So for this one, we're just going to pretend that you don't have any connection with Concordia Language and you have not been an employee at CLV. And the next column is very important if you are legally eligible to work in the US. If you're a student, an American citizen, you probably are. If you're not, you will need to check the kind of visa that you have. A simple tourist visa usually isn't enough to be able to work in the US. So you definitely, if you are not a US citizen, would want to verify that you are legally eligible to work in the United States. Alright, and then we're gonna keep going, scrolling down. Village preference, Spanish. But if you note at the top of this section, it says village information only for summer positions. So if you're applying for the academic year, you can just ignore this part and move on to the next page. If you do wish to apply for a summer position, you actually have to fill out a different application. It's basically the same questions, but you access it through a different page. Something else that's important to keep in mind, because this is a little bit of a process, it takes a while to go through all of these pages, this session will last 60 minutes and then it'll time out. So if you want to come back later, do a little bit between classes, you can easily save it, save all the work you've done and come back to it later. But it's just important to keep in mind that if you leave it open, the session will time out in about 60 minutes. So now we're going to erase all of that because it's for summer positions only. And we'll move on to the next page. So once again, required fields need an asterisk. Here you're going to add your education history. We really just ask for university. You don't need to add all of the schools you went to. So just enter the name of the school. Harvard, nope, we're gonna do Concordia. The city is in Moorhead. State, Minnesota, which is going to be with the M's. With the M's. There we go, Minnesota. Country, United States. And then you can enter your major, or your minors too. And if you've graduated. If you have graduated, go ahead and put your bachelor's degree. And if you haven't graduated and you're still a student, don't worry, you can still put bachelor's degree and just explain in that next box that, oh, I'm only a sophomore or I'm only a freshman. If you want to add more education history, you can click there. However, that will open up a blank page that you need to fill out. So if you don't want to fill out any more education history, don't click Add Education History. Just click Next. All right, now we are moving on to the employment history. Add previous employers, where you can enter the company name, college, the address, 901 going to be sure about the address, so we're going to Google it real quick. There we go, there it is. 901 8th Street South, Moorhead, Minnesota. You can just copy and paste that then. State, Minnesota, once again, still with the M's. There you go. Country of the United States. 56562. And then you'll enter the date you are employed from. So when you started working, and date employed to would be when you stopped working, if you are no longer working there. So, once again, this is just an example. And the supervisor's name. So the name of your boss or whoever directed your work. Their telephone and their email, if they have one, but once again, because this does not have a red asterisk next to it, you don't need to fill out the telephone and email for your supervisor. And then if we can contact this person, and your job title, what you did. And if you no longer work there, your reason for leaving. Now, this reason for leaving has a red asterisk next to it, so you have to fill it out. We're going to leave it blank, just to sort of show you what happens when you leave one of those important spaces blank. All right, moving on to skills. Here you have a chance to tell us about certain skills that you have, what you'd be interested in doing at El Lago del Bosque, activities that you can lead. So we have a list of a bunch of different activities that we do, or could do, and we also give you the chance to add in sort of your own activities if there's anything you really like to do. And activities that you might not want to direct, but you could definitely help out with. So we're just going to pick a few random. Basket making, definitely. Canoeing. Synchronized swimming, obviously. Holiday foods. Juggling, I'm an excellent juggler. Birding, and you can't do birding without cooking over a fire. So, there's an example of some of those activities that you can fill out, and of course you can always add your own. And any job-related information you would like to share with us. If you're an Eagle Scout, Girl Scout, experiences, things like that. Okay, so this page is very important. It is the references. We ask that you have a minimum of 2 references that we can contact to ask them if you are good with working with children, because that's a very important part of this job. So, you'll give us the name of the reference. As an example, we'll just put a random name, Juan Lopez. The company, where you worked, Fox News, very good, and the title of the reference. Not your position, but the reference's position. So he was the anchorman. The address, once again, no red asterisks, so not necessary. The phone number and the email. We contact them first by email, and if we can't get a hold of them from email, we'll give them a call on the phone. So these two spaces are very important. And then the professional relationship. So we'll just write a phone number. The email address. And professional relationship. Here we've just written amigos, or friends, but we'd like for it to be someone a bit more professional than just a friend. So a colleague, a boss, someone that you've known on a more professional level. And then, once again, we would like 2 references. So we'll add another reference, put in the name, company, CNN, producer, phone number, email, and once again, professional relationship. Maybe he was your boss, colleague, you got coffee for him every morning, those sorts of things. And if you would like to change a reference, you can remove the entry too. All right, now that you have 2 references, click Next. We're getting close to the end here. All of these questions have a red asterisks, so you're going to have to answer them in order to complete the application. You'd be 18 years old, your sex, are you able to perform the essential functions, and your native language. Is it English? Is it Spanish? Is it French? What languages have you studied? And if you'd like to add a list of high school or college language courses, so we can kind of get to know a little bit better your level of Espanol. Are you in the 200, taking 200 level classes, 100 level classes, whichever it may be. And describe your travel experience. Have you been able to work abroad? Have you been able to study abroad? Or if you haven't, are you planning on going abroad? What countries interest you? Things like that. And if you've participated in an exchange program, such as the Rotary program or AFS, those kinds of things. And then question number 10 is very important. Describe your experience with children and teenagers, because this is a large part of our job here at El Lago del Bosque. And we just like to know if you have any experience, what it is, and your experience with people who have special needs. And if you haven't had any experience with people with special needs or with teenagers or kids, that's fine. Just let us know, and let us know perhaps why you're interested in working here. And what you, even though you don't have experience, maybe you have a younger brother that you always hang out with, or younger cousins, that sort of thing. Which age group you prefer to work with. You can definitely write all of them. Or if you have more specific idea, middle school, high school. And if you're a Concordia college student at Moorhead, please provide your student ID number. And once again, if you're not, you still need to fill out number 13, but just put NA. not available. And then just a few more questions. Are you applying to work at the village in order to fulfill a class or course requirement? And then also, to help us out a little bit with transportation, we'd like to know if you have a driver's license. Usually we have vehicles, we provide vehicles, but if you'd be willing to drive them or use your own car. And if you're certified to drive a Concordia language vehicle. Number 18 mentions that if you're interested in working, for example, during the summer or maybe with the French academic year program, you will need to fill out a separate application. This is just for Lago del Bosque academic year counselors. And number 19 just talks about the references again. If you have recently worked for CLV, you do not need to provide us with new references. Here you can add an optional document. You can provide a resume, which is not necessary. We don't require it, but it's always helpful. It's always a good thing to attach that resume and send it along if you have one. Or if you have any other types of files that might help us get to know you better and get to know sort of your interests and your work better, you're more than welcome to send those along and add them to your application. And now we've finished, but your application is incomplete. So that means we forgot to fill out something. So we're going to scroll down and try to figure out what that is. Personal information, all green, good to go. Educational history, also all green with a check, means we've completed that. Whoops, employment history. So it looks like we forgot to fill something out on the employment history. See if there's anything else missing. Summarize the type of works performed and job duties and the reason for leaving. If you remember, the reason for leaving had a red asterisk next to it, so we need to go back and fill that out. Skills, all good. References, all good. And supplemental questions, also all completed. And applicant documents. So we just need to go back to employment history. So we're going to scroll back to the top, edit this application, click there, go down to employment history, and we're going to scroll back to that red asterisk field that we left open, reason for leaving. So if you're still working there, just say, I'm still working here. And if you have left, just give your reason. I moved, I graduated, got really busy with classes. And summarize the type of work performed and job duties. So what you did. If you have a LinkedIn, it could help, and you can just copy and paste your information from LinkedIn onto this page, which can make things a bit quicker. All right, now that we've filled that out, do next. Check for errors and submit. Jump ahead to the end there. And it looks like it's all completed this time. All green, all good to go. So we're going to certify and submit the application. So you have the certification, you can read through, everything is true to the best of my knowledge, those sorts of things. I hereby acknowledge I've read and understand. You're going to click there, enter your initials and submit this application. All right, and then you'll get the message, your job application has been submitted, congratulations, where you can also enter demographic information. So you'll see your completed applications here, Spanish Academic Year Weekend Short-Term Counselor. And after submitting your application, you'll receive an email letting you know that we've received it. And at this moment also, your references will be contacted via the application program and by ourselves here at El Lago del Bosque. So, as you can see, this is kind of a long process, so you want to give yourself some time to finish it all. Once again, the session lasts about 60 minutes, but you can always save and come back to it if you remember your login name and your password. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call at 218-586-8719 or shoot us an email to any of the email addresses from the person that interviewed you or from the email addresses on any of our information pamphlets.